Oh my gosh. Okay. So super stoked. I've been waiting for this, not waiting for this. Maybe all of you have been waiting for this, but this is couponing with Rachel. She is full-time couponing, stay-at-home mom, business owner, affiliate, and it's not just Amazon, it's all the things. So tell me, could
All
you
the
list
things.
off all of the things that you do affiliate marketing / influencer marketing with?
So like the companies
Yeah,
or
like how many companies do you work with?
um I goodness, that's a hard question. I guess I could start just naming some of them. So
Yeah, just
obviously
name them.
Amazon's a big one. Magic Links. I
Okay.
work with Shop My.
Okay.
Um, I think I would say that's probably my main three that I make links for, or at least through. Those are my
Okay.
main ones because the nice thing about where Amazon is just Amazon, Magic Links and Shop My you can create a link throughout just about any store. There are some stores that maybe a company won't have that the other one will, or actually one will have better uh, commission. So obviously we go with those people. So
Interesting.
yeah.
So that's a world that I'm not used to, right? And most of the people that
Mhm.
are listening to this are not used to. So you actually can choose between a 10% commission or a 15% commission whenever
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, unless there's a contract. So, sometimes I'm in a contract with one of those companies with a specific store. And then on top of your affiliate income, you'll get a sponsored rate if you only post with them. And so no matter what the, commission changes, but that big store is pretty the same, across the board, no matter who you use. So obviously I'm going to go with the person who's also sponsoring my posts, which is
Okay.
helpful.
That's a whole nother deal of sponsored posts.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about this a little bit before. We've gotten to know each other. But obviously that people don't know. So talk about your story. Talk a little bit about like what you're doing now, how big your group is, what does that look like for you, and then how you got from, you know, I don't want to say nothing, but like a
Yeah.
full-time job to
Yeah.
now owning your own business. Yeah. What does that look like?
So, it started as a hobby during the coupon craze, which is, where my name is from, Coupon with Rachel. And TLC had that huge show out. And we had two incomes, no kids, which was a lot of fun. And then we
Okay.
went from, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So we went to one income, three kids in 4 years. And, I still wanted to do fun things. And so I wanted to be able to find a way that I could contribute to the family monetarily. And so I went to a class, I learned the art of couponing, and then I started teaching it. I was featured in one of our local newspapers. And from there, one of our other local newspapers saw it. It was a Sunday feature, and they offered me a newspaper column. So I have a weekly newspaper column in a couple newspapers here in Ohio. And from there, I just I kept getting people messaging me. So then I started a Facebook page,
Okay.
which, most of my readers, that's where they're at. My readers they could be TikTokers and I'm dabbling with TikTok, but
Okay.
most of my
Yes.
readers just love being on Facebook. I also have an Instagram page where some of my sponsored posts are. So that's where it started, is that it started as a hobby. And I learned over the years how to create a full-time income from it. So that's what's
That is
exciting.
amazing. That's amazing. So you said something in there, like, so I'm an educator. You said the
Mhm.
art of couponing. Um,
Mhm.
Walk me through, like, so as a teacher, I think there's like, or an educator, there's the science of teaching, and then there's like the
Mhm.
art of teaching. And some people
It
know the
is.
science, but some people don't know the art, and it's kind of nuanced. So walk me, what is the art of couponing?
I think if for me, it's a lot of things. Knowing what you need, because you still have needs and wants, right? And we are a need-based family. So like if we need it, we don't do a whole lot of just wants. And so for instance, my 16-year-old son may want soda. That's what I call it, soda. But we don't need soda because we have a lot of water in the house. So no matter what our income level is, I'm not just going to go buy haphazardly. So I think one of the things with saving money is knowing what you need versus a want. Because also, even if you could get it for free, if you're not going to use it, it is not going to save you money because you're using your time and your gas and all of that just to go grab the deal. So I think, like the science behind couponing would be just knowing how to grab the deals, where the art of couponing is, it just encompasses so much more than that, of knowing, do I need it? Do I need it now? Do I need something in the future? Like I've been actually buying pop for a couple weeks now, because we have my son's graduation party this weekend. So knowing what future needs you have. So I think there's just so much more than just being like, oh, there's free toothpaste at Walgreens this week, let's go grab it. So I just got a crazy deal on soda.
So there's this idea where you take a step back and look like from a huge like picture and be like, okay, what do we need? What do we want? And in reality, that's like just in your home. And then there's these bigger things. Like we had talked earlier about, we have our kids go to college. We want to save some money. We want to do some. So right now you've got the Facebook group, you have Instagram, you're working on TikTok. You've got things outside this newspaper column, which kind of makes you a local celebrity, right? In Ohio where you're at, with the way, and I love your energy is amazing. Like every time I can just tell, like, I love your energy. So this is great.
And this is without coffee. I don't drink any, I actually don't even drink pop. I don't drink caffeine, I am a water girl. Like I love my water.
It's funny because people, and I can just, this is why we vibe really well. I have just been able to tell since the very beginning, like people are like, how are you, like, how do you just don't stop? And I'm like, I don't know. It's something that's just wired in me from either my parents or whatever.
I get very little sleep. I survive off water. Yeah. It's just, yeah.
So talk about, and I can tell, I know this gives you joy because, so talk about the other men and women that you help in your group, like, because they have real needs. They are going to this group because they are in maybe a dire situation. Maybe they are like, literally like, oh, we thought we were going to have one kid and now we have triplets. And now we're like, we are in trouble. We need, whatever. Talk about what that means to you to be able to help other people just grow and save money and stuff like that.
One of the things when people see me out in public, and they actually rush up and like, oh, couponing, it's Rachel. And I'm like, it's actually just Rachel, but yes, that is who I am. But one of the things that I have been told over and over is they're like, we didn't even know we needed it until you posted the deal, which, is kind of fun to know that I'm anticipating their needs. My readers, I have drilled into them for years that we are already shopping for Christmas. We're looking for stocking stuffers. We're looking for deals for dads. So we're not just buying for Father's Day. I mean, great if you can. I just posted a Carhartt deal with t-shirts for $14.99, I think. It's an early Prime Day special. But the thing is that most of my readers, I would hope most of them have already bought that, because I've been posting dad deals since January, and throughout the year. So it's nice to be able to find deals for people so they don't have to go out and search them for themselves, and then also know what they're looking for throughout the year. So it's just easier for them. I like to make things easy. I like them to come to my page, scroll through and be like, oh yeah, I needed that. Oh, I needed a deal on that. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So we'll talk about Amazon Prime Day in just a couple of minutes. But one of the things that you just mentioned, so when I talk to people, I'm like, listen, you need to be 2 or 3 months ahead of what you're actually thinking about. And what you just said was like, you're like 6 to 8 months ahead of what, because you're kind of in it all the time. I do this part-time, you do this full-time. So you had talked about, because I work in education, you had talked about back to school, like is happening now. Both.
Yeah. And it's always after 4th of July. It is. I mean, at least the last few years, it's always been after 4th of July, and they have already started rolling out deals on Walmart, on Amazon, the 50-cent crayons, which we all, the Crayola crayons that we all love, and the dollar markers, Crayola markers, they have already started. Now I believe Prime Day is a little bit earlier this year, right?
It is. Yeah. They moved it because of the World Cup in July.
Yeah. So that could have to, and like once one store puts it out, like we all know what we're not surprised by the back to school. So it's just, I'm surprised of how early they came, because, my kids just got out 3 weeks ago. And honestly, 4th of July, people are like, no, don't talk about back to school. And here we are, a good 2 weeks earlier than that. So, but yeah, anticipating needs and anticipating what you are going to need and then buying it on sale is going to be your best bet.
So so you've talked about anticipating needs a couple of times.
Mhm.
Um, is that something that you and your husband just decided to do? Is that something that's internally in you? Because I think a lot of people do not do that, right? They like emergency buy or like in the
Yeah,
moment buy. I mean, that's the whole TikTok
it's
world. It's just
probably something, yeah, it's probably been something that has been, I've been doing since, since I had little ones at home and money was so tight, knowing that we, what you need versus what you want is big. But, I've always planned for the future. Like, I mean, I meal plan. I don't need to meal plan. I work at home, but I meal plan because I don't want it to be a surprise of, what's for dinner tonight. I already know. I go into the grocery store with a plan. I know what we're going to make. I know what we have in our pantry. We have a deep freezer. We have a pantry. We have shelves in our garage with stuff. So, just kind of keeping an eye on everything that you have. And yeah, planning ahead is big. I mean, I plan ahead to the point where when I make dinner, I make extra dinner because I plan on leftovers. Like, I want a leftover night. I don't want to be cooking every night.
right.
So, I mean, even something is, I think that's kind of small, but I definitely make more food than I need because we will have a leftover night. I've got 3 teenage boys. They can eat.
Right. Right.
So
We
I
do a
always want
Sunday
to.
meal. Yeah, we do a Sunday meal we do breakfast for either lunch or dinner on a Sunday, and we'll
Mhm.
make. So I've got 7 right now. There's 5 in the house, but I'll just make. Wife will do a double batch. We'll do pancakes or waffles or something, and then we can just save them for the mornings during school, right? And during the summer, it's a little bit different because they eat them all the time. But
And I think a lot of times the reason people don't do that is because the idea of is it overwhelming. But for me, I think it's like you just have to switch your mindset of not doing it is overwhelming. Like not planning ahead, not preparing for the future. Even if your future is just Friday night dinner, But I like to know what's going to go because I don't want to spend $60 on pizza. We don't spend $60 because we get it at Domino's and we get it for $6.99. But we plan pizza nights, but they are planned, usually speaking. So,
right.
and they're usually when I go out for events, when I'm going out for sponsored events and things like that, and I'm not home to cook, then that's going to be the night if we don't have anything left over. But yeah, I mean,
So
I do think that's why people don't plan because I think it's overwhelming for them.
right. So you talked about there's 2 things. One, um, I think looking at my own parents and
Mhm.
there's a moment where your business probably and I know other people that are in the same boat. Your business overtakes from a financial standpoint and your workload overtakes maybe what your partner, your spouse does. And it sounds like from
Mhm.
everything that we've talked about, you have a super
Yeah.
supportive partner.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about that relationship and how your partner helps you kind of grow your business or completely hands off. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do it without my husband. He, especially when the kids were younger, just planning. On top of doing all of this, I do a lot of events in Cleveland. So I get invited to a lot of events to cover, whether it's sponsored or just a fun invite to like a Broadway show. But I would not be able to do those types of things. I mean, now we can because the kids are teenagers, but I was certainly would not have been able to do it without him. He is always supportive. So I mean, I always work. We're heading to Ireland in August, and he knows my computer is coming with me. Obviously, being able to balance, how much you work and how much you don't is important. But he's always been supportive in that. So you know, I do think he likes the money though too.
Well, yeah, no, it's great, right? No,
But
I
also, I could not do this without a supportive partner, honestly. I mean, if I can't cook, he has no problem cooking. He does his own laundry. Like he's always doing things around the house. So yeah, it just he's like my biggest hype man. Like always hyping me up and telling everyone like, oh, do you follow my wife? Like she's always. In fact, there was something funny. He was working at, he's a nurse, and right now he's doing some travel nursing. But his last job he was at, I did a sponsored post with, I think, Bob Evans, and
Okay. Love
they
Bob
ran it.
Evans.
Right, so yummy, and they ran it as an ad, and some of my readers obviously saw. Actually, some of my kids' teachers saw it, and they didn't know like there was a correlation. So my kids come home, they're like, my teachers know who you are now, and I'm like, but same thing happened to my husband. He comes and he goes, his coworkers were like, do you know Couponeth Rachel? Because were you at dinner with her at Bob Evans or something? I swear I saw you on a commercial. Like they couldn't even like figure out, right? And he goes, yeah, that's my wife. They're like, your wife is Couponeth Rachel?
That is, so I spent 2 years in Ohio and I love Bob Evans. It's so good. Bottomless hot
there's
chocolate.
new Bob Evans out in Utah?
There's not. They're not. Every time I go back east, I try and visit one. And people are like, what? It's not even that amazing. I'm like, it's amazing when you don't have it. Like it's
good. Those sausage gravy and biscuits, man,
they're so good. Let's talk about your Facebook group. So how many followers, how many people do you have? So you have a page and a group. How many deals are you posting a day? What does the day-to-day look like for your Facebook group? And what advice would you give? Because this is a lot of people right now, right? A lot of people are like, I want to have a group of 45, 50,000. I'm like, well, you can't just start there. Like you have to start at zero. Everybody starts at zero. So talk about that.
I think
process
like giving a reason for people to come to your page. I think giving people a reason to come to your page is really important. I started my page first, but my page grew into a community. I do a lot of TV interviews, radio interviews, and then I write my weekly column. So from that, like I have a national audience, but I have a really good local audience also. And because of that, on my page, and honestly, Facebook has changed so much in 10 years. So like I can hardly remember what it looked like before, like pages. But they definitely looked different than they do now. And on pages, you can't really interact unless people leave you a comment. Whereas in a group, you can interact with people. Like my group is open for people to chit chat. It's not open for people to drop their Amazon, links and stuff like that. But like when people say, hey, can you, look for a mattress, an inflatable mattress for me? Or, hey, I just found eggs for 88 cents at a local store. So it's really a Facebook group is really nice to be able to build a community with those people. And I really like that when my readers come up to me and I don't know who they are, but they feel like, that we're friends. And that just means the world to me, that we are able to chat like we're old friends, even though we've never had a conversation in person before. And so for me, those are the two differences between the two. I think I may have went off topic. I don't think,
people want data, but how many are on your page? How many are in your group?
Let me look. Cause you're going to be cutting this, right? Like are you cutting this?
Yeah.
You're editing.
Well, we can go live. We can do live. I'll keep talking while you're doing. No, it's totally fine. She's
is like, this live?
This is live. No, it's not live. It's just, but I usually don't go back and edit, but
it's not live.
Look up.
Oh, sorry. let's just guess. Let's guess. I think I've got about 45,000 on Facebook, and I would say 20 something thousand in my Facebook group, and then I'm coming up to about 8,000 on Instagram, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe I don't remember. So
that's amazing. And one of the things that you just shared too is so cool to me, because I think that's when you have a community. And again, we have different size communities. We're in different things, but like when the people in your community help the other people in your community, that's when like when somebody comes out with a deal that says, hey, I found eggs over here for 88 cents. It's like when Rob or Claire or somebody jumps in the live and they're like, hey, here's my thoughts on Prime Day. And I'm like, they might be different than mine, which is totally fine. But it's like this, like people helping each other.
Yes, like everybody's in this together. Everybody wants to save money, and even if you live in Alaska and you're in my group and, you don't live in Solon, Ohio for the egg deal, but it may encourage you to, drop your own deal that you found, somewhere, in your area.
I love that. So
And I
let's talk.
post the same deals in both. So,
Okay.
but there are some people who really don't want the chit chattiness of a Facebook group. And there are some people who, prefer the chit chattiness. So you can decide, or
They
you can come to
thrive.
both.
They
And then
thrive on the
also
chat.
Facebook pushes both out. So like, depending on what, you want, I have some people who are only on my Facebook page and some people who are only in my group, and then people are in both. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Prime Day, like just Amazon in general. That's kind of like my world, and I want to talk about some of your other worlds too. Like the Walmart thing fascinates me. The Magic Link fascinates me. For those of you that don't know, Magic Links is a deep linking tool, but also do they have sponsored posts behind Magic Links?
They do. I believe Shop My does too. I haven't done any. I'm somewhat new to them. I used to link through another company. Honestly, I can't remember what the name was, but they just went under, or they stopped. So I don't use them anymore. But so this Shop My I'm new to, but they've offered me a lot of gifting products. I don't do a lot of gifting. I don't want just stuff in my house, which I think is probably going to is not going to help me with the influencer program, which, so I'm deciding if I want to do that or not. I just feel like my life is so full of things and stuff, not even like personal, but just like doing things, going places. And I'm just like, I just don't know that I have another part in my head or my brain to like figure out people sending me stuff. So
Yes.
yeah, Magic Links and Shop My both do affiliate links, and then they do sponsored posts, and then they will also send you some products here and there. But I haven't really dabbled into that. I get offers, I just don't accept them right now.
Right. I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about that too. The ability to say no, I think is almost every Amazon influencer that I know at this point that has been pretty successful. There's a point where they're like, yeah, the free stuff is not, it's cool at the beginning. But when it gets to a point where it's not cool anymore, because you have like, I have literally a stack of probably 20 products sitting right here that I'm going to take to my school and donate.
That would make well, and I also work with a lot of movie companies. So I do advanced screenings. Have you guys heard of advanced screenings?
I know what it is, but I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. So like a movie company like Warner Brothers and Amazon Prime, because they've been putting out some bangers recently. So they do these advanced screenings. They give me tickets to attend, and then they also give me my readers tickets to attend. So I get a lot of merch from that. And that's what made me think about it, is I pack that up and give it to my teacher friends to put in their prize box for at least the appropriate movies. Right. Like I'm going to Supergirl next week on Tuesday. Okay. We get to see it before. So my readers get to go to the movie before it comes out, and for free. So that's really fun. And
like, are they tracking kind of like reactions, and is there video recording the audience so they can get some of that footage?
When people come out of the theater, they're asking them, what did you like? And, what are your reactions to it? If it's a sponsored post, I will do my own reaction and, share pictures from the night. Usually I'll do at least stories on my Instagram and my Facebook. If I just don't have the time to do like a actual full-on post. So, but yeah, I forgot about movies too. I dabble in movies.
That's amazing. That's
amazing. Who needs to sleep?
So let's get into the Amazon affiliate. So just for clarity, everybody that's watching, Rachel has not, okay. So I need to clarify. Rachel is an influencer in the real life world.
Yes.
But as far as the Amazon, she is, and I don't want to say just an affiliate, because she's doing better than probably 95% of the people that are watching this.
I just noticed that you remember how we were talking about how you were saying I should do a what did you say? I should do a course. And I was like, one of the reasons why I don't do courses, I feel like there's so much stuff I don't know. I just recently figured out that I have not submitted my videos, but you know how you have those two things. And I was like, what's that money from? Like, I have no idea what that money was from. The affiliate. Affiliate, right?
Sponsored, the sponsored product.
Yes. But I'm like, I didn't even know it was from like 2 years ago. So I have no idea where it was from. But I feel like there's sometimes, like, even though I've been in this business so long, like you have to continue to learn as you go. You know, like you always say deep link or perish. And I feel like it's the same thing with learning. Like if you do not learn, because Amazon changes. I started Amazon. I don't know if you knew Amazon used to do this. When I first started with Amazon, you got paid based on the number of products. So there were categories, at least in my memory. Again, this was like 10 years ago, but you got paid, like if you sold 0 to 100 products, you got 3%. I don't know when they stopped this. And then do you remember that? Or
I do. The other
did it?
Yeah, I remember when they had a 30-day cookie.
What's the cookie now? See, I don't even.
Is it cookie?
60? Is it
no, the
24
cookie
hours?
is like the cookie's instant. So the minute that somebody watches another video, that cookie gets transferred. The only long lasting cookie that I'm aware of now is if they put it in their cart, you get the credit for 24 hours.
See, I did not know that.
But
good to know.
But it was a different world. People weren't shopping as much, and so as more people shop, they had to remove the cookie because their payouts were. Can you imagine getting credit for everything that people looked at for 30 days?
That is wild.
It was wild.
Yeah.
But it was mostly books and stuff back then.
If somebody puts something in their cart though, and then they click on one of my affiliate links and something's in their cart and they check out with that, don't I get credit for both?
I don't know if it scoops the whole cart or not. I think it might be a split.
Interesting.
I think it might be a split. I'm not sure though. I do know the cart is 24.
So whatever like I was getting tracked. People are buying things that I have, no idea. I did not post back when the tracking was good. This tracking, man, is for the birds. But yeah, it was a really nice way of being like, oh, that's an interesting product to buy. Actually, some of them were very interesting products to buy.
Very, very interesting. So,
but yeah.
So you're sharing
Sorry,
affiliate links.
All over the place.
No, it's totally fine. And
yes.
People are going to love this. People are going to love this because most of the people that watch or do this, they have squirrel brain too. And so when you put squirrel brains together, it's great.
Okay. Yeah.
We are both very, very intelligent people. I just need to make that clear, but there's things that we want to talk about. So with your affiliate links, how many links are you potentially sharing a day? And you don't need to get specifics, but give us some rough like numbers. What does that look like for you on a monthly or maybe a quarterly basis, like outcome?
So with I try to post, or I try to have a post up if I'm at home, up about every half hour. So obviously, it does not, I'm not sitting around making posts all day long. Also, you can schedule posts to go off. The problem with that is that people are coming to look for a deal, and we all know that Amazon prices change. So, but I mean, I would say a good 20 to 25 deals a day, easy. Yeah. What was your other question?
So let me ask a follow-up to that one before I ask the other one. What is that time frame? Is it like 5 a.m. till 9 p.m? What is your posting window?
I usually, my last post goes off at 11 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
My busiest time is from 6 to 9 is, after Facebook shows you when, your readers are on the most, and it fluctuates between that time. So I definitely try to post, wherever I'm at, or if I'm like at an event, I make sure that there are posts scheduled for that time from 6 to 9, or I have my VA make sure that she is posting deals at that time. But yeah, I would say that my time, and then honestly, this is going to sound crazy, I just wake up when I wake up, especially in the summer. So usually it's by 8 o'clock. I know that's sleeping in for most adults, and they're probably going to be like, what do you mean sleeping in until 8 o'clock? But when I wake up, I grab my computer, I jump right in. I'm returning emails, I'm setting up giveaways, and I am posting deals. So anywhere from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. But then really the work doesn't stop for me because, I'm still returning emails and setting things up. So, but again, while it looks like I am busy, I do set up posts. So I'm not actually on the computer from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night.
Okay. What is what's a monthly average income, like taking all of the things that you've talked about, not necessarily just Amazon affiliate, but like the sponsored links, magic links? What does that look like on a monthly?
I, on a monthly basis, make an easy five digit income.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. And on the higher side of that. And that's, with all of the sponsor posts and with everything. Amazon's definitely still one of my biggest ones, because on top of affiliate income, they also do bonuses.
Right.
And so I do really well with bonuses. I don't know where they come up with the algorithm of what the bonus is going to look like every month, but that started a few years ago, and that always is a big bump. But
So
yeah,
let me explain the bonuses really quick, because some people might not be aware. There's a certain point where Amazon will send you an email at the beginning of every month, and they say, okay, if you reach this much shipped revenue, you get X amount. If you do this much, and it's usually a little bit of a stretch from where you are currently. They want you to grow and kind of build towards it. But I think there's always like a low goal that's definitely achievable. Then there's like a middle, then there's like a mid high, and then there's one that's like, okay, if you have a crushing month.
Are you kidding me?
Like right. Are you kidding me number, right?
Are you kidding me, Amazon? Yeah, but sure. Yeah, that. And then also on top of that, they email me for categories. That's somewhat new in the last 2 years. So like right now I'm working on a couple different categories, like Amazon Essentials has a different category that's different from the bonuses scale. So they have that, and then they have a couple different categories if like you pick items from this specific thing. Sometimes I do those, but the thing is that I'm not just trying to make money. Obviously, like I'm a little bit different from maybe you're an affiliate. No, I'm an affiliate. What is it?
Like just a regular Amazon influencer, right? The
influencer. I don't know why I can't see. I've been doing this so many years and I keep getting them mixed up. But, an influencer, may just be putting out links where I have a community. So I do look for certain things before I post, and we can talk about that in a bit, things I look for before I decide to post them. But some of the things I'm not going to just post it because I'm getting money for it. I need to know that my readers are going to want that. Has it sold in the past? So it's a little bit different. So some of those extra bonus categories that Amazon sends me, I'm just kind of like, and I could be missing the mark, but the way they send it to you, it's not real organized. And so I just don't have time to look through it. And also, again, I'm not looking for deals just to make money. I'm looking for deals to help my readers find deals. So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. And I think everybody that's listening, and I keep looking at the mic because it's right here, but everybody that's listening, that is a key component for no matter what you're doing, is you have to keep your audience in mind before the money. The minute that you make decisions based on, X, Y, and Z over here, you'll lose the mark. And I think this can go down to something very, very small where, and I've fallen into it where I have a ton of products I'm behind. I have to review a ton of them really quickly. And so I'll just kind of throw them through an assembly line instead of like, who's the end user, who's going to be purchasing this, what questions do they have about it? So I love that advice. I think everybody.
Which is a lot of what I do. Like, like I get so many emails. Like, let's talk about the emails I get from suppliers. What do we call them now? But sellers.
Yeah.
I mean, I get so many, and they're like, please, post my deal. I have done some sponsored posts with some of them. I have not dived really big into that because, again, like I want to post it because I know my readers are going to like it. It's a good deal, not just because they're going to, give me $50 to post or something like that. So, but there are so many deals out there, and, being able to sort through all of those just emails alone can be overwhelming.
So walk us through that. How do you, what makes a good deal? So like you talked about it a few minutes ago. What does make a good deal?
So I base it on who my audience is. My majority of my audience are me. They're mamas in their 40s, and they're looking for a cute sweater on Amazon. They are looking for toys for their kids. They're looking for something for their husband. So I believe like 70% of my audience is women. Last time I looked, and so I am looking for that number one. What has sold in the past, and what is my audience looking for? Second thing I'm looking for are the reviews. I don't post anything. I don't usually, unless it's a mistake, post anything less than a 4.0 review. Now, sometimes if it's a brand new product and only has a couple reviews, I will let people know like, hey, it's a new product. If you want to give it a try. But I'm definitely looking at the reviews. Often I will look through the reviews also. So I'm not just looking up at the top, I'll actually read through the reviews, because sometimes people will just say that it runs a little small. So if it does, or if I see that a few times, I'll put that in my post. So because I don't want people to return the things, right? Because that's another thing.
Yeah.
The other thing I look for, if it's on Creator Connections, that is a plus, but it is definitely not an only for me. I post things. There was a Cheez-It deal the other day. I think it was like a box of 40 Cheez-Its for like less than $10. That is a deal. So I'm getting like 1%, right? Or something like, what is food? I think food is 1%. Mm-hmm. But because the cookie's there, they may be buying other things. And, especially it's summertime, moms are looking for snacks, easy snacks to get their kids on the go. So that is a very low percentage of a percent of commission, but I know my readers love it. So that's what we're going to post. So I think those are things, the reviews, the Creator Connections, if it's something that they're going to use. Yeah. Oh, also how many of those items have sold. So if it's not something that my readers have bought in the past, if it is selling high, like for instance, I don't have little kids anymore. And there's these squishies that everyone's liking. Do you know what I'm talking? Like I don't know, squishy things. And the thing is, I can keep up on some trends. I cannot keep up on all the trends. I posted butter. It's a squishy butter. It's a butter stick. I mean, hundreds of butter sticks sold, completely random. But one of the reasons why I posted it is, a seller had reached out to me, but also when you looked at how many had sold in the past month, I'm like, people want squishy butter. Okay, let's give the people what they want. And once the price had dropped, I told the seller, I said, once the price drops, let me know. I'll sell. And hundreds sold. Again, squishy butter. Who knew that we needed squishy butter in our life? Like I have older kids, so I'm like, I didn't know that was trending. Now I do now.
Right. There is and it's funny because there's a lot of people that are on the opposite side, right? They have young kids, they know all the trends, but they don't have teenagers. Mm-hmm. They don't know that like there's this, maybe they do, but like hacky sacks are coming back, and like, the Jinko jeans and all those things. So, I mean, you have kids.
My youngest teenage son wears pajama pants. I pick my battles to school. He is respectful. He does dishes and he never talks back. So I feel like if he wants to wear pajamas to school and the school lets them, we're going to go with it. But yeah, adults, I'm in a parent group, school parent group, and these moms of third graders, like, is it pajama day? And I'm like, in high school, it's always pajama day, or at least in my kids' high school. And actually, that used to be a joke. I would drop the kids off and they're in pajama. I'm like, is it pajama day again at high school? How many pajama days do you guys have? So, but
every day,
so little kids' parents don't know that in high school, some high schools, not all, but some schools, high schools allow it to be a bit more lax, and if they want to wear pajamas, then
totally chill.
Pajama bottoms. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
The trend.
How do you find these deals? Like let's I'm trying to think in my head, how do you aggregate thousands of products and narrow it down to 24 to 30 a day? Like, how do you get all that information? Are you just looking? What does that look like for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do a lot of research, which is like the things I do after 11 p.m., or maybe in the morning before I start doing a post, like maybe my VA is posting in the morning. So I see that she's posting. So then I will take that time to look through my emails and see what's going for, and when I'm looking through the emails, and the ones that I can see photos of, I have like a photographic memory. I'm like, oh, that sold well last time, or they really liked that. It's also kind of nice when it's a creator connection, because you can go back into your last one, click it, and then see how well it did if you need a little bit of information from that. But yeah, I mean, I go through my emails. I go through what I know gets clicked on, because you can look at clicks right, through your through the back end of Amazon. So while it used to always be my earnings reports up, where your earnings report used to be
so good.
right,
It's so
it
bad
used to
now.
be very detailed. But now, if I see like something has gotten a ton of clicks, then I will repost it again the next day, and I will say this was a top seller yesterday. So those ones are easy. So even though the reporting has gotten, a little not so good anymore.
You can be honest. Yeah, it is not great.
It still gives me enough information that I need. I also have a goal of how many products I want sold by the end of the day. Obviously that doesn't always, I have a number in mind of what thousands of dollars that I want sold by the end of the day, because I know what that will probably mean around in income for that day. So I kind of just kind of chasing that a little bit too. So yeah, but that's what I do. I base it on emails that have come in, whether it's a sponsored post, obviously I have to put that up, but then also what sells with my readers. And I look through emails.
That's fascinating. Let me ask you this, and I mean, this is not negative, but do you get any negative, I don't want to say negative backlash, or people are like, oh, you're making money off of giving deals to other people, or you're, X, Y, and Z. Do you ever have people that are like not appreciative, or are they mostly pretty
Yeah. I would say there's probably a majority of my readers who don't know that I make affiliate income, even though I put ad, I put ad on every post. I don't know that they really know what that means. I mean, I know that, is it FDA, or I don't know who's making us put FTC. I think it's FTC,
yeah.
Federal Trade Commission. Yeah. So even though they say you have to make it say ad so people know, I don't know that your average person is going to know what that means per se. But I don't know that I've ever had anyone say anything negatively about me doing it. In fact, it's only been, oh my gosh, we're so glad you're always posting the best deals, and we didn't know we needed it until you posted it. And oh, I got that $5 Lego toy yesterday, and I'm putting it away because I'm always talking about your gift closet. Buy it now, put it in your gift closet. When my boys were younger, I had a gift closet of toys that I got discounted. And when we went to birthday parties, I'd pop it out of the gift closet, wrap it up, and take it, because I don't want to take them to Target 5 minutes before the birthday party starts and we're spending $30 to $40 on a gift. So training, I guess, training your readers to shop that way, so that way they can anticipate what needs they have, I think has been helpful for me and for them.
So. Well, and the funny thing is, the kid that's getting the Legos thinks it's the best gift ever. The mom is like, oh my gosh, they must be rich. They got our kid Legos for birthday. Right. And then you're just back there going like,
$5.
Yeah, I got the deal. I have a closet right here in my office that we do that with, right? And sometimes the stuff is random, and I'm like, well, like my son's like, he's like 18. He's like, hey, I'm going to a birthday party. I'm like, dude, this is an alarm clock that charges the phone, does this, and this. And he's like, Dad, she's gonna think this is weird. I'm like, I guarantee she's gonna love it. And I'm like, you don't even have to bring a gift, but it was, don't tell her you got it for free. But
yes, right, yeah. Absolutely.
He's more embarrassed than I am. So, okay, let's talk about, you've talked a little bit about your VA. You've talked a little bit about your workflow. So you're going to Ireland, you're going on these trips, and yes, you work on those trips, but how do you manage being away from your, 15-hour a day business or 24-hour a day business? What does that look like for you when you step away?
When I step away, I wind up working more on my phone. Now, Ireland's going to be a little bit different. We are actually going to be getting a car and driving all over the country. So I'm hoping that I'm going to have a strong network on my phone, so I can use that time, obviously, to look out the window and appreciate the beauty of Ireland, but also can get a little work done. So it's going to be a little bit different than like when we were in France. I was just in France with my sister, where we were, going here and there and hopping on trains and Ubers. But work a lot on my phone when I'm on my, I use the Amazon app, and then I really rely heavily on my VA. I also know that there's no way I'm going to post as many things when on vacation, and nor would I want to. Like, I don't want to take that time away from my family and myself. So, but I'm still posting even in other countries.
Do you give a heads up to your readers, or it's just status quo and they have no idea? Just slow down.
I usually do. Sometimes you can turn it into a write-off, if you work it in there. So absolutely, I'll let them know where I'm at. We were in Italy 2 years ago, and I did a post every day of, where we're at, what we're seeing, what we're doing. I did stories the whole time. And actually, I do stories significantly when I'm on trips. And sometimes I'll pop up because, my stories on Instagram go automatically to my Facebook stories. And when I'm on a trip, my stories definitely look different. Every once in a while, I'll put up a thing like, hey, I'm on a trip, but you're following along on my trip. If you want to look some deals, go find my Facebook page or my website. And, that's updated. But that looks a lot different when I'm on a vacation, because I cannot post deals on my Facebook page, post deals on my blog, post deals on my stories, and enjoy, and also post videos, right? Like, it's just something to give.
Something, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and you deserve a vacation. You just mentioned something too that I want to ask about, because I think we have a lot, both you and I mean, this is a small TikTok now growing community. When your kids were younger, how did you manage? And you look back now and you're like, I don't know how I managed it. I just did it. But I mean, that's how I feel as a parent sometimes. When we had 5 kids under 5, and people are like, how did you guys do it? I was like, we just did it. I don't have
was a lot.
So talk about being a stay-at-home mom running a successful business with 4 kids under 5. How did you do that? What did that look like?
Back then I had not figured out how to make it nearly as lucrative as I have now. I was dabbling in Amazon. Amazon looked a lot different back then. I definitely didn't even know that other stores were on. So my page leaned more heavily on free things that we were doing with the kids, with a sprinkle of a toy here or there. But I didn't know what capacity it could grow into. I probably would have started way earlier had I known, but or maybe not, because I was enjoying my littles being little, and doing that stuff. But I mean, I was always out with them. And so I used my Facebook page at the time of frugal things that we were doing, like, hey, we're hanging out at the park today. We picked a picnic and we went to the library for story times, all the free things that we could do when they were younger. It was that, because also back then it was about how to get free toothpaste, so I did a lot of those posts. I would put hours in going through Giant Eagle's ad. That's our local grocery store up here.
Yeah.
And matching a coupon and typing it all up on my blog. Like, here's toothpaste, here's the link to print the coupon, and here's free toothpaste. And other than views, I mean, that was making, actually at the time, coupons.com was paying for coupon prints. So I did make some money from there, but it was hours of work. And when I finally saw that my readership was changing and that was not getting as many clicks, I had to let that go. And every once in a while, people come back and they're like, hey, you never do store deals anymore. But, and I usually respond, that's just not what my readership is interested. The majority, certainly some, absolutely some. But, with the rise of TikTok, there's so many couponers on TikTok that explain to you how to get, really cheap soda. And I follow some of them, but that's just not, I feel like, where my readership's at anymore. So they want to get a cute sweater on Amazon.
So this will lead in kind of like the last portion. And this is like a personal question for me. This is like, so I don't have a Facebook group. I mean, I've had Facebook groups for some different things. If someone wanted to start tomorrow, and
Okay.
and in 5 years get to, or 3 years or 8 years get to where you are now, what does that look like knowing what you know?
I think being authentic, I know that sounds so cliche, is so important. Not just posting deals because you're hoping people are going to click on the link, but really coming off as I'm here to help, which obviously you do very well. Like when you came up on my TikTok one night when I was scrolling, probably posting deals, I was like, what is this guy talking about Amazon from? Because that I hadn't even reached that part of TikTok. Like I watch other TikToks, but I think we're probably the first person who came on my FYP talking about Amazon and affiliates and all that kind of stuff. But being authentic, I think, is so important. And also like trying to build a community without worrying about money, which I know sounds crazy, but building a community first and worrying about money later is important. I think that there's a lot of content creators out there right now that are trying to figure out what that looks like. And they do a lot of like, follow me, I'll follow you, or send me stars. Do you see any of that? Are you on
I
Facebook? I've been seeing that a
I'm
lot on my Facebook.
I'm on Facebook. I've seen it in some other groups. I mean, I see it on
Which,
TikTok a lot
and
too.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I'm saying those aren't your people, right? Those aren't the people. My first thought is those aren't the people. Like you want to start a community, but you don't want the community to be based off I'm following you because you followed me type. Does that make sense? At least
Yeah.
that's what I would say, because I think it'd be hard to pull yourself out of that. Because now you have people who are following you because they're other content creators, but they're not following you because they want to know what kind of fun stuff that you can show them. So being authentic is important, but also coming with the mindset of what can I give them without anything coming back to me, I think is really important. I go to a lot of events, and there have been some of my readers who've become content creators who are like, I can't wait to do what you do. And I'm like, but for years I did stuff for free, right? And I still do stuff for free. Do stuff for free. But like I'm not going in because I'm like, I want to do this because I can't wait to get things out of it. And I do think that there are some people out there who go in with that mindset, and it's a little bit difficult to dig yourself out of that. So being authentic and trying to build a community and it'll happen. Like if you find your community, it can't help but grow.
Right.
So
Right.
does that mean, I hope that helped a little bit.
No, I absolutely love that. And I think so we talk about, I've talked about this before in education, service leadership, where you serve the people that you lead, and you give of yourself, not to a point where you aren't yourself anymore, but then they see that you really do care about them. And it's the same with online, right? And that's kind of my philosophy with TikTok, or whatever it is what else I'm going to do. So I mean, it's part of this whole, I'm like, people would love to learn from Rachel, and I'm so happy that you're like, hey, yeah, this would be so much fun.
I mean,
okay,
I turn down sponsored posts all the time because I don't feel like it fits me or my audience. So and a sponsored post is, where a company would come to you and say they want to pay you to do a post, just in case anybody doesn't know. But I turn them down all the time because, again, it goes just being back to being authentic. Like if I don't want people to be like, oh, she's, I don't know, putting on tires on a car now because, a tire like that would not, I work hard at making sure that when my husband or my kid gets in the car, that it needs filled with gas. And they're like, how do we need gas again? I'm like, I don't know, but it's because I worked hard at not filling the gas tank and coming home just in time. So I don't have to go get gas. So, me doing a TikTok of trying to sell someone tires would not be authentic. People would know.
So again, you have your audience in mind when you're saying no, and people that are brand new, it's hard for them to understand that they would ever be at a point when you would say no. Do you know what I mean? Like, because there's
100%.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, when my kids were younger and I was just trying to figure out this content creation thing, which again, I don't know if I said this on camera or not, but we were called bloggers back then. I have my own website and I post things on my website, but I post things directly to my Facebook because people want less clicks. So there are some readers who just go to my website, and that's fine. I definitely need to probably work better at keeping that updated, but the less clicks, the better outcome for people. So, but when we were younger and our kids were younger and, one income, and my husband wasn't making what he makes now, it was hard. And so had you told me then that I would have said no to $1,000 deals, like I would have thought you were crazy. But if it doesn't, I want my readers to know that I'm here for them and not the other way around. Like I want to provide a service for them, and I want to make things easy, and I want to go do fun things with them, and I want them to be able to go do fun things for free. So, that's why I do what I do.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Do you have any final thoughts that you're like, hey, I need all of the people that are going to potentially watch this across the entire world, which might not be as many as I think, or that I'm hoping that it will be. What would you want to tell them about what you do, who you are, kind of what you represent, that you can just share? Like, you have the mic to close us off and just.
I think, just believing yourself. I know it sounds cliche, and starting small is important. And getting into it for knowing that you're going to make lots of mistakes. I still make mistakes. I think all of that is really important, and not focusing on going from zero to maybe where I'm at, right? That you're not going to be able to do that. And there are some people who do, and great. And in fact, there are people who've been in this way shorter time than I have and make way more money than I do. But, just focusing on your own track and your own community, and knowing that you're going to get there. Like I think slow growth is just as good as fast growth. So, and I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm a slow grower, but here I am, and I do very well. And honestly, I'm just blessed. I am 100% blessed that I get to do what I do every day.
That's amazing.
So that's what I'd say.
Give everybody your socials. So your TikTok, your Instagram, your Facebook, so you can get a flux of followers. What are those?
So TikTok, I think I'm just Rachel K. Am I? I think at some point I was couponing with Rachel, but I wasn't sure what I was doing with. I've just started posting a little bit on TikTok. Am I Rachel K? I could be. We'll have to look that up. I think it's Rachel K. And on Facebook, I'm couponing with Rachel. I have a website called couponingwithrachel.com, and on Instagram, because who needs to sleep, I am couponing Rachel. So a lot of my Instagram are sponsored posts, and then in my stories, you can scroll through the deals, because a lot of my readers just like to look at stories on Instagram. And so I'm trying to think about making my Instagram stories a little more personable, but I don't know. We'll see where if that tracks. I feel so weird talking to a camera, like on Instagram stories.
It's weird. It's so much fun. No, it's totally fine. Okay, Rachel, thank you so much. Will you stay on just for a minute after I end the recording? I wanted to follow up and get some stuff. So